asked people, including those with a scientific or healthcare background, what they think a healthcare professional means when they use the words cortisol and assay. Many people gave multiple answers. When a scientist uses the word cortisol, they're talking about a specific hormone that the body produces. This belongs to a group of hormones, called steroid hormones, which have many functions, including managing how the body responds to stress and contributing to the immune system. When we asked people what they thought it meant, 34% said they didn't know. When we just looked at the people who didn't have a healthcare or scientific background, 50% of respondents didn't know. Overall, 16% of people described it as a steroid or hormone, with an additional 19% describing it as a hormone that was related to stress. Note that these percentages were much lower when we only looked at people who didn't have a scientific or healthcare background. Other people described it in more general terms, seeing it as a substance or chemical, with some people linking it with stress or as being an anti-inflammatory. However, 17% of all respondents only associated cortisol with a treatment, drug, or dental product. Putting the word into the context of a sentence didn't help, with 45% of people saying they didn't know what it meant. When we just looked at the people who didn't have a healthcare or scientific background, 54% didn't know. Of those who gave an explanation of the word, their understanding varied between it being a general concept of a substance or chemical, a specific thing, such as a hormone or steroid, something with anti-inflammatory properties, or simply a condition of the body. When we replaced cortisol with the phrase steroid hormone, some people felt this used more familiar language or was more explanatory. However, over half of respondents felt the sentence wasn't clearer. Whilst they were familiar with the word steroid and hormone, they either didn't know what each word meant, didn't know what they meant when they were put together, didn't know that a steroid was a hormone, or felt it could be confusing because they associate steroids with treatments or bodybuilding. When a scientist uses the word assay, they are talking about a laboratory test that measures the amount of a substance. When we asked people what they thought it meant, 56% said they didn't know. But when we just looked at the people who didn't have a healthcare or scientific background, 78% did not know. Of those who did give a description, their understanding varied considerably. The most common description was of a test, without any indication of the type. However, some people gave specific examples, while others just know that it has something to do with pathology of samples. Others didn't link it to a test at all, but still related it to aspects of laboratory science or healthcare. A small number of people gave answers unrelated to the context. Although, in some cases, they acknowledged that their description may not be relevant to healthcare. When we put the word assay into the context of a sentence, some people's answers changed, but a range of descriptions were still given. However, when we replaced the word assay with test, 95% of people said the sentence was easier to understand.